Adamma was a moving train. Her legs never stayed in one place. Her eyes never stopped wandering. Her ears were always alert. From one compound to another she moved, gathering gists, spreading false rumors, and inserting her mouth into matters that did not concern her. And if you dared to ask her why, she would smile proudly and say, "It is a special talent." A very long time ago, in the great kingdom of Umoji, there lived a very beautiful maiden called Adamma. Adamma. There was no way you could live in Umoji and claim you did not know her. Impossible. A lie from the pit of the shrine. Yes, besties, she was Adamma of Umoji, the most popular maiden in the land. Some called her beautiful, some called her troublesome, but many people simply called her the most beautiful parrot that had ever lived. Adamma of Umoji had one sickness in her life, a sickness the elders said had no cure. She could not mind her business. Mbana. That one alone was too much to ask from Adamma. She loved to know everything that was happening around her. I mean everything. Nothing passed first without entering Adamma's ear. She called it staying up to date. If two people whispered behind a hut, Adamma's ear would begin to itch. If a calabash broke in someone's backyard, she would arrive there before the owner. If a man coughed in the market square, she would rush forward and ask him, "Is it ordinary cough or emotional cough? Tell me the truth." People feared her more than the village gong, because before the gong announced anything, Adamma had already told half of Umoji. Now, Adamma was the only daughter of Ichie Ono and his wife Anwuli, a very peace-loving couple. These two, they were the type of couple that never quarreled, never shouted. You know, the kind of couple that lived without drama. Just calm, gentle people. But their calm life carried one deep pain. They had been married for many years. Years upon years, and there was no child. There was nothing they did not do. All the herbs that were recommended they drank, bitter ones, sour ones, suspicious ones. They traveled to mountains nobody believed existed just to pray. They bathed in rivers at dawn. They offered sacrifices. They begged the gods. They cried. They waited. In fact, even the villagers had mocked them and given up hope. Some women whispered, "Who knows why the gods have decided to punish them?" Some men shook their heads and said, "After all these years, Then one day, Anwuli conceived. It was not ordinary joy. It was an explosion of joy in the entire kingdom of Umoji. You know, this kind of joy that even your enemies would join you to thank the gods. People who used to laugh behind their backs suddenly became prayer warriors. Everyone was just so happy. Finally, Adamma was born. Anwuli held her daughter and gazed into her tiny face, tears rolling down her cheeks, as if she was holding the most precious gift the gods had ever released. And her husband, Ichiono, that man could not stop celebrating around the village. He danced, he laughed, he announced to strangers. He almost ran mad with joy. 17 years of waiting. If this was not a miracle, then I truly do not know what else to call a miracle. Now, besties, with the way Adamma came into the lives of her parents, one would think she had arrived to wipe away the tears of shame and mockery they had endured for years. But no, Adamma had come on a mission. Even though she was their only child, her parents tried. They tried. They tried very, very hard to raise her well. They corrected her. They advised her. They scolded her gently when necessary. They scolded her loudly. But Adamma was like that stubborn nut that refused to be cracked. No matter how hard you hit it, it only laughed at you. This girl was so lazy, really, truly, proudly lazy. House chores were like punishment to her. She cried while washing plates. She cried while going to fetch water from the stream like her mates. Asking her to go to fetch firewood. That one was like sending Adamma on a suicide mission. She would throw herself on the ground and cry until those who had gone to the forest returned home with their bundles of firewood. Now you would ask, what does Adamma love doing? Sleeping. Eating a big mountain of food that could feed almost an entire village. And then roaming around Umuaji, gathering gist, scattering peace, settling matters that did not concern her. And when she got tired of troubling the village, she would return home, consume another heavy load of fufu, and sleep off right there in front of the very plate she had eaten from. Even at just 12 years old, her parents were already tired. There was no day they did not settle problems. Problems that Adamma had caused with her own mouth. I know you may be wondering why Adamma was not going to school. That one is another heartbreaking story. Now, in Umuaji, there was only one primary school owned by Madam Corey. A school meant for the middle class of the village, not for everybody. But Ichie Ono and his wife tried their best. They hustled, gathered money, and enrolled Adamma into the school at age 8. The very moment her hand crossed her head and touched her ear, which was the official requirement for accepting a child into school. Adamma was very intelligent. Her brains were sharp like razor blade. She was doing really well. She answered questions quickly. She read better than many children older than her. Teachers liked her. Students liked her. But there was a problem. Staying in the class. That one was not Adamma's calling. While lessons were going on, Adamma would quietly sneak out of the classroom. She would be wandering about the school compound, peeping into offices, listening behind doors, roaming around the staff room, looking for what only the gods knew. She was gathering stories. And that was how trouble entered the school. One afternoon, Adamma overheard Madam Corey speaking quietly with a man behind the office. She heard words like money, quiet, don't let anyone know. Before evening, Adamma had already spread a rumor that shook the entire village. Guess what she said? That Madam Corey was secretly using poo pills for rituals to make her school rich. Parents rushed to the school in anger. Some dragged their children home by force. Some shouted. Those who had lost their children to the cold hands of death cried. Some even threatened to burn the school down. When the truth finally came out, that the argument was about an unpaid fee, an unpaid school fee that was forgiven, and Madam Corey was asking the parents to keep it a secret so other parents won't come begging that their own debts be forgiven. The damage was already done. And that was how Adamma got expelled from school. Adamma was small, yes, but what came out of that girl's mouth was more terrifying than a bomb. Her mother cried every day. Adamma, one day your long ear and big mouth will put you inside a hot pot of soup. Why can't you just mind your business? But Adama would laugh and reply, Mama, leave me. Is it not gist? Did gist kill anybody? Besides, I don't even know when I say those things. Years rolled by, and by now Adama had blossomed into an adolescent. But one would think she only grew up physically. No. Adama had also become a certified, self-acclaimed Minister of Public Affairs, complete with bachelor's degree, master's degree, and a PhD. Ah, this girl was just 16 years old, yet her mouth had gathered more experience than elders who had sat under the Udala tree for decades. Her parents, they were already tired. She had been expelled from school, yes. And yes, her parents had tried enrolling her to learn different skills. Tailoring, she went there to hear people's secrets. Hairdressing, she abandoned the comb to gossip. Palm oil business, she returned home with only gist, low profit, and caused loads of trouble in the market. And now, she was at Mama Chioma's salon, the only woman who had agreed to accept her. Adama was a moving train. Her legs never stayed in one place. Her eyes never stopped wandering. Her ears were always alert. From one compound to another she moved, gathering gists, spreading false rumors, and inserting her mouth into matters that did not concern her. And if you dared to ask her why, she would smile proudly and say, "It is a special talent." And any day Adama managed to stay at her workplace, that very day would be used to settle the trouble she had created. Of course, with her big mouth. There was this very beautiful maiden called Ojugo. Ah, Ojugo was very, very beautiful. The kind of beauty that made people stop chewing kola nuts mid-bite when she passed just to stare. The villagers adored her so much. When she passed, heads turned. When she smiled, people sighed. Then, one day, Ojugo fell sick. At first, her parents felt it was just a mild sickness, something herbs would handle, something concussions would chase away. But no, the sickness refused to go. Instead, it grew worse. Ojugo began to dry up like an oversmoked fish. Her beauty faded, her flesh melted away. She began to lose weight until even her wrapper looked too big for her body. Her parents, knowing the people of Umoji very well, quickly hid her inside their hut. Ah, they knew these villagers with mouths that never rested, tongues that were sharper than razor blades. Very soon, rumors would start flying, and they themselves did not yet know what was wrong with their daughter. So, whenever the villagers asked, they would say Ojugo is fine. She traveled to stay with her grandmother in a faraway kingdom. Many believed the story. Life moved on. But one day, it occurred to Adama that she had not seen Ojugo for a long time. She cleared her throat, the way a master gossip clears her throat before releasing fire. "What have you heard about Ojugo?" she asked one of her gossip mates one evening as they sat in front of her hut offloading a tray of fufu. Her mother said she went to stay with her grandmother in another kingdom. Adama frowned. But how come she doesn't visit home at all? It's been long I saw her, and I think something is fishy. She was sick some time ago, then suddenly disappeared. "You think she is dead?" the other girl asked, her voice shaking. I don't know yet," Adama replied, narrowing her eyes. "But I must find out. My spirit doesn't lie to me." And that was how Adama swung into full inspection. Ojugo's mother was a vegetable seller in the market. And that was how the very next day, Adama stole some of her mother's money and went straight to the market. Adama always knew how to get any information she wanted. She had methods, proven and tested methods that she trusted. She walked confidently to Mama Ojigo's stall, her eyes roaming, her ears already open. "These your vegetables are really fresh," she said sweetly. "I want to buy two." The unsuspecting woman smiled, happy for the patronage, and began tying the vegetables together. But then, Adama's voice froze her hand in midair. "How is your daughter Ojuko?" The pain and fear that flashed across the woman's eyes were impossible to miss. Though it lasted only a few seconds, it was there, sharp and deep. Quickly, she forced a smile and replied with the same old lie. "Ojugo is fine. She is with her grandmother." But those few seconds were not too short for Adama to notice. It only confirmed her suspicion that something was very wrong. And once Adama's suspicion was awake, sleep was impossible. She told herself that she must get to the bottom of the matter and bring it to the open. Mama Ojugo was hiding something. After all, what joy was sweeter than being the first person to deliver hot, fresh news? The thought excited her so much that her chest swelled. As she picked her vegetables and walked away, she added casually, "I wonder why she doesn't visit the village again, even to see her parents." Mama Ojugo stood there shaking. Even the fake smile on her face could not hide her fear. The moment Adama left, the woman hurriedly packed her vegetables and ran. She ran home, ran to check on her daughter, ran to be sure Adama would not start playing funny games. This one she remembered to ask. Everybody in Umuoji knew Adama. Her big eyes that never minded their business, and her mouth that never closed. But running home was a very big mistake, because Adama followed her quietly. Mama Ojugo's compound was filled with trees, tall, quiet trees that had seen many things and kept many secrets. But right at the back of her house stood a small hut. A hut hidden so well that people hardly noticed it. A hut that looked like it had been swallowed by trees. That day was the first day Adama ever noticed the hut. Her heart jumped. She quickly hid behind a corner, her eyes wide, her ears standing at attention. She knew it. Something was about to happen. Mama Ojugo staggered to the hut and suddenly sank to her knees. She began to cry. Not the loud crying of the market, but the deep, broken crying of a mother whose heart was tired. After what felt like a long while, she wiped her tears and began to sing. Her voice trembled as it floated into the trees.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, oh. Oh, you go, my beautiful one. Flower that made the village proud. Skin that shone like morning sun. Daughter with the walking grace. Oh, you go open the door for your mother, the one who carried you with pain, the one who hides your shame with her life. Come out, my child. Come out.
was the pattern. After the song, when Ojugo was sure it was truly her mother, the door would open. Adama watched with her mouth slightly open. Slowly, the door creaked, and then an unrecognizable frail figure stepped out of the hut. Adama gasped. The girl was thin, too thin. Her skin clung to her bones. Her beauty, once praised by the whole village, was now gone. In tears, Mama Ojugo wrapped her arms around her daughter and held her tightly. "Hey! Wonders shall never end," Adama whispered. "So, this is the grandmother's kingdom." Ojugo, she muttered in disbelief. Unbelievable. What could have happened to her? Her mind began to run faster than her legs. Hey, okay. Maybe she was sleeping with people's husband though. There was a time I heard a rumor like that. She nodded slowly like a depressed cock. Because this is the only explanation for this evil predicament. She shook her head. I can't keep this to myself alone. No. The villagers must hear this. And if they don't believe me, I will bring them here. As Adama walked back home, her excitement was contagious. She laughed like someone who had just tasted the honey of the spirits. At the same time, her mind was busy arranging the perfect way to break the news to the villagers. "Ah!" she exclaimed again, smiling to herself. "Wonders shall never cease to end." Before evening even reached the middle of the sky, more than half of Umoji had heard the gist. The news did not crawl, it ran. From compound to compound, from the river to the market, from cooking fire to palm wine joints. Adama's mouth was working overtime. Ojugo slept with someone's husband. That person went diabolical on her. Have you seen her? She now looks like a ghost. She is not in any grandmother's kingdom. I know where she is. She even taught them the song her mother always sang before opening the hut. "If you doubt me, go and see for yourself," she declared proudly. "I did not hear it. I saw it with my 2 eyes." What the villagers had ignored for a long time. A secret that had been carefully buried for over 1 year. Took only a few hours for Adama to dig up and scatter like dry leaves. And that was how the villagers stormed Ojugo's compound. Men, women, children, even elders who usually minded their business. They broke into the hidden hut and saw with their own eyes. The hidden hut, the frail girl, the truth they had never imagined. Voices rose immediately. "You are covering evil in our land. Is this a grandmother's house? This girl is an abomination. Who knows what she must have done to incur the wrath of the gods?" Shouts clashed in the air like broken calabashes. To fear what they spat. Evil must not stay in Umoji. Is this how we will be angering the gods? Hey! Tears filled Mama Ojugo's eyes. She could not speak. She could not explain. She could only stand there shaking as people spat on the ground and snapped their fingers in disgust. To fear what? Her secret was out, and she knew deep in her bones that nothing would ever remain the same again. She did not need anyone to tell her. She knew it was Adama. From that very day, when Mama Ojugo passed, people snapped their fingers. They called she and her husband all kinds of names. In the market, nobody bought her vegetables. Nobody. And Adama, Adama was still spreading the news, demonstrating, explaining, adding hand movement for emphasis. I saw it with my 2 korokoro eyes. I was there live. The dust from the Ojugo matter had not even settled when another trouble rose in Umoji. This time, it was not sickness, It was not disappearance, it was death. An old man, Ichie Maduka, one of the most respected elders in the village, died quietly in his sleep. No noise, no shouting, no struggle, just old age. Or so everyone thought. The whole village prepared for the burial. Women cooked, men dug the grave. Children rehearsed songs. Relatives arrived from far and near. The atmosphere was sober, heavy, respectful. But Adama's ear was already awake. During burial preparations, she passed behind the deceased man's compound and overheard two men whispering in low voices. We must not talk about it. If the truth comes out, the family will scatter. That was all. Just 2 sentences. But for Adama, that was more than enough. She did not wait to hear the rest. She did not ask questions. She did not even seek clarity. Her mind had already completed the story. By the time she reached the village square, the version had changed. So you people don't know, she said, lowering her voice dramatically. Ichie Maduka's death is not from his chi. It is not ordinary. People leaned closer. Adama, you started again. What do you mean? Did someone kill him? Was it poison? Adama sighed like someone burdened with heavy knowledge. The next thing, all of you will say, Adama said it. All I will say is, that family is hiding something. They are hiding something. Those words entered Umuoji like fire entering dry grass. Before evening, the story had grown legs. Ichie Maduka was killed. He had a secret. It is land matter. No, it is ritual. He was killed by a member of the family. I heard he quarreled with his brother. By burial morning, people arrived, not only to mourn, but to investigate. Eyes were watching, whispers followed footsteps. Every movement looked suspicious. The women cried louder than necessary. The men argued quietly. The dead man's sons exchanged confused looks. Then, during the burial rites, it became more uncomfortable. A relative suddenly shouted, "This burial must stop." Silence fell. "What are we hiding?" the man continued angrily. "Why are people saying my father was killed? Killed by a family member. Which family member? Who started all this?" Nobody answered. Eyes shifted, necks stretched. Then someone pointed. "Ask Adama." All heads turned. Adama froze. The elder stared at her with eyes that could peel skin. The dead man's eldest son stepped forward, shaking with anger. "Did you say my father was murdered? Do you have proof?" Adama opened her mouth. "Well, I didn't say exactly that, but what?" the son thundered. "You nearly scattered our burial." The chief elder raised his staff. "Enough," he barked. He turned to Adama. "Young girl, what did you hear?" Adama swallowed. She narrated her half-heard whisper, adding confidence to ignorance. The elders exchanged looks. One of them shook his head slowly. "That whisper was about land documents," he said. "The deceased settled a dispute quietly before he died." Shame fell like a heavy wrapper. People murmured. Some sighed. Some clicked their tongues. The chief elder faced Adama again. "This will be the last warning," he said. "Your mouth will soon drag you where your legs cannot escape." For the first time in her life, Adama felt fear. Not deep fear, not enough fear, just a small one. But even as she walked away later, she muttered, "At least, I brought some truths to light." And that was how Umuoji knew. Adama had not changed. She had only become more dangerous. The burial incident did not end at the village square. Its shadow followed Adama everywhere, even to Mama Chioma's salon, the tent shop where Adama was learning how to braid hair. That afternoon, Adama sat on a wooden stool, plaiting a woman's hair when the mermaid began. Is that not the girl? The one that almost scattered Ichie Maduka's burial? The one whose mouth is sharper than knife? The customers shifted uncomfortably. Some even stood up and left. Mama Chioma dropped her comb suddenly. Adama, she called slowly. Yes, Mama Chioma, Adama replied without lifting her head. Stand up. Adama stood. Pack your things and leave my shop. The salon went quiet. What did I do? Adama asked, looking confused. Mama Chioma's face was tight with anger and fear. I am tired of your trouble. You bring trouble everywhere you go. And what I won't allow is you chasing my customers away, she snapped. My shop cannot carry your issues anymore. One woman hissed, another snapped her fingers. Before Adama could say another word, she was chased out of the salon like a stubborn goat. She walked home slowly, not even ashamed, just irritated. At home, her mother was already crying. Anwale sat on the floor, wrapper loosened, tears soaking her chest. Anywhere I go, she sobbed. People throw words at me. They say, we did not raise our child well. They asked me if I trained you with gossip instead of breast milk. We tried, Adama. We tried the best we could. Her father Ichiono sat outside silent. Frustration weighed on his shoulders. Men mocked him. Women whispered. Children laughed behind his back. Control your daughter, everybody said, before she brings curse to your house. That night, the house was quiet. Too quiet. A few nights later, after another day of whispers and finger snapping, Ichiono and Anwale decided to summon Adama. She sat before them, legs crossed, her face calm. My beautiful daughter, her father began gently. This path you are walking, it is dangerous. Anwale wiped her tears. Adama, Adam, she pleaded. Please, learn to mind your business. Stop entering matters that do not concern you. Adama sighed. Mama, this is my calling, she said confidently. Besides, I have done no wrong. Her parents exchanged looks. Not everyone is gifted at finding hidden secrets. Adama continued proudly. But I do with ease. I say what I hear, what I think, and what I see. She paused briefly. Yes, Maduka's case was a mistake, she admitted. But people make mistakes too. That is why we are human. Besties, at that point, these people gave up. Anwale bent her head slowly and burst into tears. After the Ichie Maduka scandal, Umuoji was no longer the same. Something shifted. People began to avoid Adama like a bad omen. Mothers warned their children, if you see Adama coming, cross to the other side. Whenever people were talking and she walked past, conversations died instantly. Mouths closed. Eyes shifted. Even laughter froze. Nobody wanted their words twisted. Nobody wanted to become the next victim of her long ear and longer mouth. For once, Adama lay low. Not because she had changed, no, but because the village had gone quiet around her. No gist, no whispers, nothing to feed her curiosity. And then, one night, screams began. Not from Ojugo's compound, not from anywhere familiar, from another part of the village. The first night, people thought it was imagination. The second night, fear entered. The third night, nobody could deny it anymore. At exactly the same hour every night, a woman's voice would rise into the darkness, not crying, not singing, not arguing, screaming. Ah! Leave me! Stop it! The sound coursed through the night like a blade. Children woke up shaking, calling their mothers. Mothers pressed them tightly to their chests, whispering prayers. Men turned to the wall and pretended to sleep, as if sleep could protect them. No one went outside. No one asked questions. No one wanted to know. But Adama's ears stood up like a soldier on duty. By morning, the village of Umoji was already buzzing. Did you hear the scream last night? People asked their neighbors in low voices as they fetched water, swept compounds and roasted corn by the roadside. Yes, I heard it. My children couldn't sleep. Different explanations began to fly. Some said it was madness. Others whispered maybe domestic violence. A few shook their heads and said, no, this one is more than us. But no one was certain. And because nobody was certain, fear sat heavily in the air. The elders gathered and warned firmly, nobody should go near that compound. That statement alone was enough to scare most people. But Adama laughed. How can a whole village be sleeping, she scoffed, while one woman is screaming every night? Is she not a human being? And who could she be? She snapped her fingers. If nobody will find out, I will. As she walked away, another thought crept into her mind, sweet like honey. Maybe, if I'm able to dig this out, she thought, the villagers will forget the Maduka incident and love me again. Ah, that was how Adama crossed her first invincible lie. From that day, she began to monitor the house. Not openly, not boldly, just like a shadow. She asked questions nobody wanted to answer. Who lived there? Where did they come from? Have you ever seen the woman screaming in daylight? Why does nobody visit them? People waved her away. Adama, leave it. This one is not your matter. Don't bring trouble to yourself. But Adama did not listen. One afternoon, she finally followed the husband. The man was tall, quiet, and walked like someone who did not want company. Adama followed him until she could not hold herself anymore. She blocked his path. She said boldly. Why does your wife scream every night? The man stopped. He looked at her slowly. His eyes were calm, too calm. That is my wife, he replied. And my house. Adama folded her arms. People are afraid, she continued. Children cannot sleep. Are you beating her or is something else happening? The man's face hardened. This matter does not concern you, he said quietly. Mind your business. Adama laughed. Is it not village? When something happens, it concerns everybody. The man leaned closer and said in a low voice that made her skin prickle, some matters swallow those who poke their nose into them. For a second, Adama felt something crawl up her spine, but she quickly shook it off. Threats, she muttered as she walked away. This one is definitely hiding something big. From that day, she took it to the next level. At night, when everyone had gone to bed, she would sneak out of their compound and enter into the strange man's compound, hiding behind trees, watching. Sometimes she saw nothing. Sometimes she felt watched. During the day, she commented loudly wherever she went. Have you people heard the scream again? This one is terrible. Her mouth was running again. One night, Adama stood near the strange compound again. The moon hung weakly in the sky. The trees whispered to themselves. The air felt thick, heavy, like something was waiting. Then she heard it, the scream. Ah! Her heart jumped. She strained her eyes, nothing. No movement, no shadow, no figure, just the scream, tearing through the night. Mosquitoes descended on her like punishment from heaven. They bit her legs, her neck, places mosquitoes normally fear to bite. She slapped, hissed, scratched, but refused to leave. It's been 5 days, 5 whole nights. 5 nights of hiding behind trees, peeping like a bush rat, watching, waiting, and still no serious gist. She had not even set her eyes on the woman. Then, on that 5th night, as she was hiding behind the trees, the scream suddenly stopped. There was silence, the kind of silence that makes your ears ring. Adama held her breath, and then a voice whispered very close to her ear, "Go home, Adama." Her blood froze. She spun around sharply. Nobody. Her heart began to beat wildly, like a drum beaten by spirits. For a brief moment, fear touched her, but then she smiled. "Ah," she whispered to herself, amused. "Even spirits are now greeting me." Besties, this was the moment everybody watching from heaven, earth, and under the ground screamed, "Adama, go home!" But Adama did not. Suddenly, whack! Something struck her back. She screamed. Whack, whack, whack. More invincible strokes landed on her body like hot fire. An unseen hand was flogging her. "Ah!" she screamed. Fear grabbed her throat. She did not look back. She ran. She ran like someone being chased by death itself, screaming, shouting, jumping, crying, her wrapper nearly falling off her waist. People woke up. Dogs barked. She burst into her compound like a madwoman and collapsed. But when morning came, Adama said nothing. She did not tell her parents what had happened. She did not even explain the marks on her body to anyone. She brushed off their questions. For days, she did not return near the compound. One would think, maybe she has finally learned her lesson. But no. The screaming continued, night after night. And then one midnight, as Adama sat alone listening to the distant scream again, she stood up slowly. "This thing," she muttered, "I must still understand it." And that night, Adama decided to return. She didn't tell anyone where she was going. For days, she had pretended to ignore it. She had stayed away, but the scream refused to leave her head. What if this is the night the truth finally reveals itself? What if I get to miss it? She tied her wrapper tightly, slipped out of the compound, and walked back towards the forbidden place. The compound looked different that night, darker, quieter, as if it was holding its breath. The scream came again, but this time, it did not come from the inside. It came from behind the hut. Adama frowned. She moved closer. The scream sounded farther now, as though the woman was walking, calling her, leading her. Without realizing it, Adama followed. Behind the compound lay a stretch of bush nobody visited, thick, tangled and old. The kind of bush elders warned children about. As Adama stepped into it, the air changed. It grew cold, a kind of cold that crawled into her bones. She hugged herself. "This is strange," she muttered. She looked down and saw footprints, bare footprints, fresh. She smiled. "Aha, I caught you." She followed them eagerly until they stopped, vanished, as if the owner had lifted off the ground. Adama paused. Her heart skipped. She took another step. The trees around her bent slowly, not with wind, but as if something unseen was passing between them. Branches creaked, leaves trembled. "Hello," Adama called, forcing laughter. "I know you are here." The scream came again, closer now. She turned sharply, and for the first time she saw her, the woman, tall, pale, hair falling all over her face. For a heartbeat, their eyes met. Adama gasped. Then, the woman vanished, just like smoke. "Wait!" Adama shouted. She ran forward. That was when the ground beneath her feet shifted. The earth rumbled softly, dangerously. Before she could scream, something massive moved behind her, slow, heavy, ancient. She turned, her mouth opened, no sound came out. A mighty python rose from the bush. Its body was thick like a fallen tree. Its eyes burned like fire hidden in darkness. Its skin glistened with a strange wet shine. Adama's legs failed her. She fell backward. The python opened its mouth, wide, too wide. She screamed, and in one swift, terrifying motion, the python swallowed Adama whole. When Adama opened her eyes, she was not dead, but she was no longer in Umwaji. She lay on a cold surface that did not feel like ground. Yet, it did not feel like air either. It was neither hard nor soft, neither dry nor wet. She sat up slowly. There was no sun, no moon, no sky, no earth, just an endless grey mist swelling gently like breath, and voices, whispers, hundreds of them at the same time, some crying, some laughing, some murmuring secrets, some arguing. They came from nowhere and everywhere. Adama clutched her head. "What is this place?" she whispered. Her voice echoed strangely, then vanished. She tried to stand, her legs shook. "Ah!" A scream tore through the mist. Adama froze. That scream, she knew it. Slowly, the mist parted and she saw the woman. The same woman who screamed every night, but here she was clearer. Her face was beautiful, painfully so, yet marked with sorrow. Her eyes were deep pools of suffering. Her body glowed faintly as if light lived inside her skin. Beside her stood a man, tall, still, silent. Her husband, the same man she had questioned in the village. But his feet did not touch the ground. His eyes were empty like deep caves. Adama staggered back. You, she whispered. "You are real." The woman looked at her. "You followed what was not meant for you," she said, her voice echoing like deep water in a well. The man spoke, slowly, heavily. "We are spirits under sacred punishment." The mist trembled. "We once crossed laws older than the village," the woman continued. "And the screaming you heard," she paused, "it's a binding ritual. Every night, she screamed to hold the punishment in place, to prevent it from spilling into the human world. That is why humans were warned," the man added quietly. "That is why the elders said stay away." Adama's throat went dry. "So you were warned," the woman interrupted. Once, twice, thrice. The voices around them grew louder. Then the mist began to change. Shapes formed, faces, scenes. Adama gasped. She saw Ojugo, thin, crying. She saw Mama Ojugo snapping fingers in shame as people mocked her. She saw all the people she had destroyed with her mouth. She saw herself talking, laughing, pointing, enjoying the attention. The spirit man raised his hand. "Your crimes are many." The voices began to chant. "You destroyed lives with rumors. You exposed secrets meant to be covered. You enjoyed the downfall of others. Each word struck Adama like a slap. She fell to her knees and screamed, "No! No! I was only saying what I heard," she cried. "I was only saying what I saw." The woman stepped closer. "Truth without wisdom is wickedness," she said softly. Suddenly, Adama screamed. Her ears stretched, pulled, elongated painfully like rubber. She clawed at them, crying, "Ah!" Then silence. Her mouth sealed shut, tightly, as if stitched by invincible thread. Her eyes widened in terror. Voices rushed into her ears. Secrets, dark secrets, hidden secrets, unspoken confessions, buried truths. She heard things she should never hear. Her head throbbed. Then her mouth suddenly opened. "Speak!" the voices commanded. She opened her mouth to talk, and pain exploded. Her mouth sealed again. "Open! Seal! Open! Seal!" She was forced to hear, but never allowed to speak. Forced to know, but never allowed to expose. Adama collapsed, shaking violently. Tears poured freely. "Please, I don't want to die. I'm sorry, please, please." Her pride shattered. Her joy in gossip died in that instant. All her strength drained. At that moment, Adama broke completely. Back in Umwaji, morning came, but Adama did not return. At first, her parents were not afraid. She must have slept in someone's house. Finding gist, Anwole said, "She will come back." But evening came, night followed, and Adama did not come back. By the next morning, fear entered the compound like an unwanted visitor. People began to whisper, "Has anyone seen Adama? She did not pass this road this morning. She did not even come to fetch water." By afternoon, it was clear Adama was missing. The same village that once avoided her now gathered in clusters. Some shook their heads, others murmured, some said quietly, "Maybe this is how her story ends." Anwole collapsed. She cried until her eyes swelled. She tore her wrapper and rolled on the floor. "My daughter," she wailed. "Gods of Umwaji, I beg you." Ichiono did not cry loudly. His pain was quieter, heavier. He went from shrine to shrine, barefoot and humble. He bowed his head before elders he once stood equal with. "My daughter is missing. I don't know where to find her." Together, the parents prayed, fasted, offered sacrifices. They begged. Anwole cried until her voice broke. Her tears fell on the earth, hot, sincere, desperate. And the earth listened. Far away, in the realm of the unseen, the mist trembled. The spirit woman paused mid-scream. The spirit man lifted his head. Something warm had entered their cold world. Tears, a mother's tears. Humility, a father's broken pride. The spirits gathered. "She deserves punishment," one voice said. "Yes," another replied. "But her parents have paid the price." The woman looked at Adama, who lay weak and broken. "She has learned," she said quietly. The man nodded. "Release her," he said. "Not because she deserves it, but because love has ransomed her." The mist parted. The python returned. At the edge of the river, just as dawn was breaking, it rose from the water, slowly, heavily, with a deep ancient sound. It opened its mouth, and Adama was spat out alive. She landed on the wet sand, coughing, shaking, gasping for air. The first light of morning touched her face. She was alive, but she was no longer the same girl who had been swallowed. Fishermen found her near the riverbank, cold like a child, eyes wide, lips trembling. They carried her home gently, whispering prayers. When Awole saw her daughter, she screamed, not the scream of fear, the scream of relief. She held Adama tightly, crying until her chest hurt. Ichie Onu stood beside them, his eyes wet, his shoulders bowed. Adama did not speak much. She did not explain where she had gone. She did not tell anyone what she had seen. Her eyes alone told the story. From that day, Adama changed. If people gathered to whisper, she quietly turned and walked away. If two people lowered their voices behind the hut, she increased her speed. If someone leaned close to her ear to share a secret, she gently stepped back. And if in the distance, a scream rose into the night, Adama blocked her ears. She did not ask questions anymore. She did not move closer. She stayed inside. The villagers noticed. At first, they watched in disbelief. Is this Adama, the same Adama? The one whose ear used to itch at every whisper. Women tested her. They gossiped loudly beside her. Adama would just stand up and leave. People began to whisper, something has touched her. Maybe she saw what humans are not meant to see. Maybe fear has taught her wisdom. Children, as always, turned it into a song. They clapped and danced in the village square, singing. They laughed, they teased. Adama heard them, and she smiled softly, because some lessons are learned by laughter, and some are learned by surviving what should have killed you. Not long after Adama returned, the night scream stopped. One night passed, then another, then many more. No scream, no cry, no whisper of terror in the dark. The compound of the strange couple stood quiet, too quiet. Curiosity tempted some people, but fear restrained them. When elders finally gathered courage and went there, the house was empty. No man, no woman, no footprints, no trees. It was as if they never existed. Yet, Adama refused to say what she had seen. From that day, peace returned to Umoji. The air felt lighter, cleaner. Men laughed freely again. At the next village gathering, the elders spoke. They sat under the ancient Odala tree, staffs raised to the ground, voices heavy with wisdom. One elder cleared his throat and said, "Not every secret is meant to be uncovered." The people murmured in agreement. Another elder added, "Some doors are closed for a reason." Eyes turned towards Adama. She sat quietly, head bowed, hands folded, no urge to speak, no itch in her ear. Years passed. Adama grew into a woman of few words, a woman who listened carefully, a woman who spoke only when necessary. People began to respect her, not for what she revealed, but for what she chose not to say. Mothers pointed at her when teaching their children. See her. That is what wisdom looks like. And so, Umoji sealed the lesson in a proverb. The ear that enters every matter will one day enter the mouth of danger. And that was how Adama of Umoji, the girl who could not mind her business, became the woman who understood that silence is also wisdom. Hey besties, we've come to the end of this amazing story, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it. I would love you to share your thoughts and lessons in the comments section. And if you enjoy our stories but you are yet to subscribe to our channel, please do not skip this video without hitting on the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that you get notified whenever we post new stories. Thank you so much for all your love and support. That means so much to me. Right now, I have to go and see you in our next story.